What up, you guys? Big announcement from Joe Biden. I got this from a reliable source. Tiki Tawari is saying around December, mid-December, they may be changing the US dollar to digital. Bam! I'm EB from Compton. City is where I'm from. Dum diddy dum. Let's get into this a little bit. I only got 10 minutes to talk about this. Hey, you guys, recently I did videos. If you go to my YouTube channels and my link here, my YouTube channel is Family Cash Machine. Follow the money, because I'm always talking about the money, because in my perspective and from my opinion, the money is the real reason why things happen or don't happen. Whenever you study history, they give you certain narrative. But when you find out about the money and track the money, it's a whole different story. Trust me. So that's why my channel is called Follow the Money. But right now, I just wanted to let you guys know, I did a video a couple years ago about the digital currency that's getting ready to hit America and how they're getting ready to change to a digital currency now. You guys know I've always been talking about cryptocurrency, blockchain, Bitcoin, and all that. But at the key core of what I'm about is decentralized blockchain, not centralized blockchains, not centralized digital currency. There is a huge difference. And let me get into what the difference is, okay? Now, I want you guys to like and join my channel, become a follower here, because it's getting ready to get very intense about what's happening in the United States. It makes sense around the mid of this month that he may announce this. Shock to the world. China's already on a digital currency. Russia's created a digital currency. And they're actually presenting strong opposition against the US dollar as BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which is not just those countries no more, have created so much momentum, okay, to where there's so many countries joining in on this organization now to basically challenge the dollar and the power of the Western powers, to where this year was the first time that the BRICS GDP, gross domestic product of all the countries that are a part of BRICS, have exceeded the GDP of all the countries that make up the United Nations. Bam! Wow! So this is going down in a major way. So why is he doing this? First of all, he wants to be this historical president because, you know, what people don't know is, I'm going to give it to you raw right now. Abraham Lincoln wasn't killed because he freed the slaves. Because if you really check, he didn't free the slaves. He emancipated them. He gave an emancipation proclamation because there was so many revolts and insurrections, okay, within a 100-year, I don't know, say within I think it was a 20-year period, there was over 1,500 insurrections in slavery, okay? And then you had the whole Haitian Revolution, which kicked France booty behind all the way back to France, okay? And not only did the Haitians, do that to France, they created a huge backlash economically because all these slaves were insured by insurance companies, so they lost billions of dollars from that. So the fear in America was that revolution was going to spread to the slaves in America. So Abraham Lincoln emancipated the slaves. He didn't free the slaves. In fact, if you read the Douglas Lincoln papers, the argument between Douglas, not Frederick Douglass, but one of the congressmen named Douglas and Abraham Lincoln, he stated, I am not an abolitionist. And I am not for the equality of blacks. He said, I stand for the superiority of the white race. He said that. So he did it because of economics. It was money. He wanted the slaves to be able to fight for the North. And then we also fought on the South because a lot of slave owners didn't want to go fight. So they said, hey, I got enlisted. Hey, I'm going to send my boy, Eric, EB. He's my boy. I'm going to let him fight for me. See, that's how that happened. So it was all about economics. It's all about money. But again, he got killed because he wouldn't allow a central bank in the United States, because they understood, the so-called founding fathers of this country, what central banks do and how they're privatized banks and they're private bankers, they're international bankers that bankrupt countries. This is what they do. And if you really want to know more about them, you can go to Europe and the Rothschilds and the DuPonts, Oppenheimers, all these different people, the Coons, the Lubes. These families change their name all the time. They go all the way back to biblical days. They were called money changers, okay? Money changers in the biblical days. Those are the same people that Jesus went through the temple, tearing up the temple and with the whip and chasing them people out. Them is the same people. So this has been going on for a long time, okay? So they wanted in the new world, America. And, you know, Abraham Lincoln didn't do it. And he created his own money called the greenbacks. Go look it up. And that's what got his cap peeled. He got his cap peeled back to the white meat because he wasn't playing ball with the central bankers. Okay, he wouldn't let a central bank here. Not until 1913, Woodrow Wilson sold out this country. J.P. Morgan and all these other guys went to Jacko Island. You can read the book called The Creature from Jacko Island. I need to put the picture up of me and the guy who wrote that book. I'm real good friends with him. And, you know, Edward G. Griffin, I met him several times. And when I created my classes on central bank and the history of central banks, he gave me his blessing. You know, but I learned it from him. So Edward G. Griffin is the guy who wrote the book Creature from Jacko Island, where they had this island outside of Georgia, you know, when all the bankers met up and decided to pass the Central Bank Act. And they didn't want to pass it under that because people would have been like, oh no, central bank. So they passed it under the Federal Reserve Act. And guess when they passed it? Christmas Eve, when everybody was asleep. They all signed the documents in Congress and passed this thing to sell this country out to a central bank. And the Federal Reserve is not a part of this country at all. But back to my point. You guys need to start learning more about digital currencies. And you need to learn the difference between centralized and decentralized. Because the decentralized currency is for the people. It's going to redistribute wealth and give us all an equal playing field in this whole scheme of things. I like that. It's going to be the true definition of economic democracy. I like that. Okay? Now remember, I'm just a dumb guy from Compton. Compton is the city where I'm from, dumb diddy dumb. But guess what? There's geniuses from Compton. Don't get it twisted. Eric Wright, Eazy-E was not a dummy. He was the one that really made it to where negative media is still media. He told the NWA, he said, look, man, don't worry about us getting negative media. No, media is media. We get attention, we get attention. And he branded that. He was able to make that work for them. Genius, okay? And it worked for Tupac years later. All the negative attention and negative media Tupac got is what blew him up, okay? Because media attention is media attention. You just need to learn how to use that and leverage that. And that's what's happening now. The dollar's getting ready to change. It's negative. Because now the government will be able to see every dollar you make, every dollar that somebody sends you. That's not the case now. I can give you $100, nobody know that. You can give me $1,000 in my hand, nobody know that, okay? I can send you Bitcoins, and this is what makes Bitcoin so popular and so valuable, is it's not controlled by governments. The value is not predicated on interest rates going up, interest rates went down, no. But the dollar is, because when they go up on interest rates, they slow down inflation. But guess what? They're going to not go up on interest rates. That's what everybody is saying. All the economists that I follow are saying interest rates are not going to go up. So it makes sense why Joe Biden is getting ready to unplug the dollar, because if they don't go up on interest rates, it's going to not put inflation in check, and inflation is just going to go into hyperinflation. So they're forced to do it. Just like Nixon was forced to take the dollar off of gold. He was forced to do it because Charles de Gaulle from France he saw we was in war for 8 years in Vietnam, and he wanted to return, like it says on the dollar, you return this dollar and you get the equal amount in gold. He did that. And other countries wanted to do that, so Nixon had to pull the plug. Again, you guys, grab my link, start learning about digital currencies, start learning how you can position yourself for one of the greatest exchanges of wealth ever in the history of the world. I'm going to do a second video today and show you why digital currencies, in particular cryptocurrency, is for the people versus digital currencies is for governments. And that's why China got a digital currency, Russia got a digital currency. Remember, these are communist countries. So America's headed towards more socialist, more communist techniques when it comes to your transactions and your money. And you want to get out of that. So grab my link, you guys, and I'm going to do another video tonight.